Good evening to all of you, my friends. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight or this evening. I'm glad that you have joined us for this little talk. I was coming down from Brandon yesterday afternoon, and right in front of me was a little Kia Soul, and there was a bumper sticker in the back of the car that caught my attention, and the bumper sticker simply said, "It is well with my soul." I was really tempted to just stop the person driving the car and ask, "How can you be so confident that it is well with your soul?" I did not, however, but it inspired me to give you this little talk today, asking this question: Is it well with your soul? Is it really well with you? I know these are some difficult days. I know you probably are bombarded by all kinds of difficulties, but it's important to consider, is it well with your soul? This reminds me of a hymn, an old hymn that was written back in the 1800s. The hymn became very popular. In fact, probably the most popular hymn may be Amazing Grace. Right next to it probably is that song, it is well with my soul. Let me give you a little bit of the story of this hymn. It was written by a man named Horatio Gates Spafford. He was a lawyer and businessman in the city of Chicago. He was also very committed to the Lord. And in 1871, there was the Great Chicago Fire, and Mr. Spafford lost all of his property in that fire. But even just before that, or actually in the same year, he had already lost his son who had died suddenly, his young son. So, because of all of this tragedy, Mr. Spafford arranged some family time. He decided to take a little chill out time, a little vacation, and arranged to go to Europe. And but right before he left for Europe, he had some urgent business to attend to. So he sent his wife Anna and four of his daughters ahead of him and told them as soon as he's done with the transaction, he would join them in England. So on the ship, they were on their way to England when the ship they were traveling on collided with another ship, and all four of his daughters perished. They drowned in that tragedy. His wife sent him back a note saying, the note simply said, "Saved alone." And so she was basically letting him know all four of his daughters perished and she was the only one who survived. Soon as he made the arrangement, he boarded another ship and was headed to join her. And as he was passing by the area where the first ship had sank, killing his daughters, the captain pointed it out to him. This is the spot where this happened. And we are told that Mr. Spafford left, went back in his cabin, and began to write this old hymn. It says, "When peace like a river attends my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul." Mr. Spafford was just assaulted by this tragedy. It was one thing after another. Imagine losing your son, losing all your property, and then losing your four daughters. It reminds me of Job when Job lost everything. But in spite of all his losses, he remembered that he still had the most precious of all. He had the Lord on his side. And he knew that he had already made peace with God. And so he says, "It is well. It is well with my soul." And of course, this hymn has become a very popular hymn. Someone writes that there were four main reasons why this hymn has become popular. And let me just close with those four. Number one, everyone experiences grief. Everyone experiences grief. Number two, everyone asks why. If you have not yet, at some point in your life, you're going to ask God why. It's no guarantee. I no guarantee that God is going to answer your question, but you'll probably ask Him why. Number three, everyone asks, how can I go on? It's like you become paralyzed by the tragedy. Everyone asks, how can I go on? And then number four, everyone needs a place to go to. Everyone needs a place to run to, a place of refuge. Mr. Spafford found that the Lord was his place of refuge. And in spite of what happened to him, he said, "You know, Lord, I still have you on my side. You are the one who have promised to walk with me even through times of difficulty." Like the Psalm 23, Mr. Spafford could say, "It is well." It is well stands as a fallback resource for all God's people. You know what? One day all of this tragedy and difficulty will be over, and I'll be finally in the presence of my Lord, free from all tragedy, all difficulty. I ask you today, is it well with your soul? Have you made your peace with God? In, in case something like that happens to you, in case you lose your own life suddenly, is it well with your soul? I hope it is. And if it's not, do not waste any more time. Turn your life over to God, and you will be able to say confidently, like Mr. Spafford, "It is well with my soul." God bless you. Thank you for joining me today.